Hello again and welcome to the Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard Tactics video. Now before we get into today's video, I would like to say a huge thank you to Charles Duncan for sending in some pretty awesome pictures of his Death Corps of Krieg. Loving the classic black and red colour scheme across all these Death Corps bozos. They look absolutely fantastic. Just veritable horde of infantry backed up by enough earthshakers to literally shake the earth. I absolutely love it. You make me jealous. I wish I had that many basilisks. You know what? I'm going to have to go and get more basilisks. You've inspired me, Charles Duncan. I'm going to have to get more basilisks. Thank you for sending these pictures in. They look absolutely awesome. Please, if anyone else has got any cool pictures they want me to use in my videos, post them on my Facebook page. There will be a link down in the description below. So today, guys, what we're going to be taking a look at is the fact that most Marines seem to be getting an additional wound. That's right, we're seeing a lot of firstborn units going up to 2 wounds apiece, and this is spreading out across the whole of the Space Marine and Heretic Astartes line. We're seeing regular tactical Marines and Chaos Space Marines going up to 2 wounds each. We're seeing Terminators go up to 3 wounds. And we're also things like, on the Heretic side, we're seeing Thousand Suns go up to 2 wounds, Scarab Cults go up to 3 wounds, Plague Marines going up to 2 wounds. In fact, just if you're an original Marine, if you're an OG Marine, either a good one or a bad one, you're getting an extra wound. Now, interestingly, this isn't applying to Primaris, but there's probably reasons for that. And what I want to do today, guys, is just take a look at this from the perspective of the Marine players, but then also take a look at what this means for 9th edition in general. What does this say about the edition and what is going to be strong and weak and what Games Workshop wants to push us towards? And then we're also going to finally have a look at what's it going to be like facing these armies. You know, as a Guard player, what can we do to prepare for the fact that a lot of Marine armies just got a double in durability? So, let's get into it now. So, obviously, from a Marine perspective, it's another buff, it's another thing that's going to keep them powerful, and it gives them a lot of versatility. Now, Marines were already a really, really strong faction, and we know this, but they weren't totally dominant. They were very strong, but when you actually got to sort of the tournament circuit level, you were seeing a lot of Custodes doing work. You were seeing a lot of Death Guard doing work. Thousand Suns have started creeping in, and people realizing that all is dust, and being able to get like a 4-up invulnerable save and crazy things actually made rubrics, yes, expensive, but be durable. And guess what? Durability is just key in 9th edition. So Marines were doing really well. And the great thing about Marines is that because they were just generally strong across their codex, you could turn it to a tournament with not necessarily a super optimized list and still place relatively well. But there were other factions which had some combinations, some 1 or 2 just tournament winning lists that were really, really powerful. Now Marines have got another boost, and they've got even more versatility. Do I think that firstborn lists might start turning up at a lot of events? Possibly. I think there's a good argument to be made for firstborn now. A lot of the time when you're looking for objective holding units, you're looking at what is, especially in 9th, what is the most durable for the least points. And if you look at a tactical Marine who's got a 3+ save and 2 wounds, but costs 2, 3, maybe 4 points less than an intercessor, you're getting exactly the same durability. You know, we're seeing things like bolters are going up to 30-inch range as well. So the only difference between a tactical Marine and an intercessor is you've got the same range on the gun, you've got the same strength. One's got an extra AP, that's pretty good, and one has an extra attack in close combat. But Marines are kind of generally a shooting army. Yeah, intercessors can bully non-combat units, but they still get torn to pieces by regular combat, you know, combat dedicated units. So if you're looking for a unit which is durable and just durable as intercessors but slightly cheaper, tactical Marines fill that role. And don't forget, I've always been a big proponent for tactical Marines simply for the fact that you can get a lot of plasma in firstborn units, and plasma is so powerful, it's so good. If you go and watch multiple battle reports of my Black Templars I run double plasma in every Crusader squad, and Black Templars are a combat army, but when you're rocking up to the battlefield with between 14 and 20 plasma guns, and you're facing off against a Primaris army that, according to the internet, is better than yours, but because you've got plasma, because you've got damage too, you're able to do significant damage to the enemy. And this is the thing that I want to lead on to. Okay, Firstborn are getting a big boost here. Firstborn can take anti-meta weapon options like plasma. The problem with intercessors is that they, and a lot of Primaris units, is they can't take special weapons. Intercessors, infiltrators, incursors, aggressors, all of these units can only take damage 1 weapons. Your basic tactical marine can take a couple of plasma guns. Stern Guard veterans, 5 plasma guns. Every single man in a Stern Guard veteran squad can be given a combi plasma. Yeah, you're paying through the nose for it, but guess what? Your Stern Guard just got a big durability boost. And they can take the weapons to counter enemy meta units. If someone turns up with a Firstborn army and they've got 5 tactical marines with 2 plasma guns, and that costs about the same as 5 intercessors, tactical marines are actually going to win that firefight every single time, because they've got the same number of wounds as the intercessors, but they've got 2 guns which, when they get into rapid fire range, can clean those intercessors out, can just hose them down. Don't forget AP -4 plasma guns with the tactical doctrine, which you can have active for 2 turns. That's super powerful. So, what do I think this means for Marines? I think we're going to, for basic Marines, I think we're going to see Firstborn. I think we're going to see Plasma Firstborn. That's what I would be taking. You know, my Black Templars, not as Black Templars, but as a Marine faction who has a lot of Firstborn with a lot of Plasma and Heavy Bolters. Heavy Bolters have got to 2 damage. I've got a pretty, what I would see as a pretty anti-meta list right there. Durability with firepower. Is that not the key to 9th, guys? It is. So Firstborn Marines seeing a big boost here, which is good. Take a look from the Heretic perspective. My God, it is going to be tough to shift those Death Guard guys now. Now I personally have not played Death Guard yet, so I will take this next segment with a bit of a caveat. I'm going off third-party stories from talking to mates who have been to tournaments, who have played Death Guard, from my research, from looking at where Death Guard are placing. After their Psychic Awakening book, they were so drawable. They were able to get almost army-wide 4+ invulnerable saves, or at least a big bubble of 4+ invulnerable saves. They were able to just stack on the Feel No, like 5 Feel No Pain. I think you could get reroll 1s on that Feel No Pain. They are toughness 5 across the board, and toughness 5 is extremely important in a Marine meta, because it means all those fancy bolt guns are suddenly wounding you on 5s. So Plague Marines were already hard as nails. We were already seeing Death Guard and Death Guard lists turning up and podiuming hard, consistently. Death Guard lists were consistently getting in the top half of any tournament, simply because they just moved on to objectives and you could not shift them. And don't forget, Plasma, key, guess what? Death Guard can take 3 plasma guns in a squad. They can take 2 special weapons, and the Sergeant can take a plasma gun. Not even a combi plasma, he can just take a straight up plasma. That's 3 plasma guns in a 7-man unit. Bonkers. It might be 2, I'm sure it's 3. I'm sure it's 3, but it could be 2. Either way, it's still great. You're turning up, and they've all got an extra wound now. So they're all twice as hard to shift. And the thing about Plague Marines that other armies can't take advantage of is they come with a 5+ Feel No Pain. They're just inbuilt. So even if you hit them with a damage 2 weapon, they've got a good chance. They've got 2 5-ups. They've got a good chance of stopping one of those damage. If they do that, then the next 2 damage weapon that comes slamming in, it's just wasted. It's just wasted because you're using 2 damage to kill what's left of a 1 wound, of a 2 model to do 1 wound. So they're going to be so durable. Death Guard are going to be having a great time. Thousand Suns, interesting. We've seen them sneaking in a bit of mono Thousand Suns, and the reason that they're starting to creep in a little bit is because rubrics are durable, and durability wins 9th. And guess what? They also get past all the invulnerable save bullshit that crept in over 8th edition because they just pump out mortal wounds. Just pump them out. Primaires are not that durable when your entire army is doing like 10, 15 mortal wounds every turn without fail. Your enemy can't stop you. You're doing like 75 mortal wounds over the course of a game. Because you're just pumping out. And I know various smites and things have been nerfed. You know, I know you have to get. I know you have. You know, smite does build up now, so 5 to to 6 to 7 to 8, blah blah blah. But Thousand Suns have access to various different pseudo smites. Especially, I think the Cult of Magic has access to. It's basically a smite that can just like bounce around units. And they've got loads of ways of doing mortal wound output, and so do Death Guard. So what's really interesting is if you actually take a combination of Death Guard and Thousand Suns, you've got a great durability and you've got great smite output. And they're so tough. 2 wounds. Every power armor model, every Marine, every Heretic just got so much more durable. It's mad. And some of the outliers, which aren't even really being considered yet, which aren't even on people's radars. What about World Eaters? What about Khorne Berserkers? What was the biggest problem with Khorne Berserkers? That only 1 wound. Well, guess what? Now they're 2 wounds. So even if, and there's barely any Overwatch now. Because obviously, unless you're facing Tau, someone's going to do Overwatch once. And then your World Eaters are just free to charge across the board. It's someone who plays World Eaters occasionally and plays against them fairly often just through various events. Someone always turns up with the Khorne at the event just because there's always a mad lad that does. And it was always very frustrating, and you could feel that for your opponent when he charges his Berserkers in and he just loses 2 to Overwatch. Oh, yeah, he's still going to tear that Guardsman squad or 2 apart with those, but it just makes my job so much easier going into the next round to get rid of those Berserkers. Oh boy. So I think it goes without saying that obviously getting an extra rune is going to be big. Yes, points are going to go up, but I could be totally wrong. But I feel personally, I think that if you're a tournament player here, if you're a Marine player, and you're going right, all my tacticals got an extra wound. Yeah, they've not got that extra attack, but that's not as important because I'm a shooty Marine army and I can lean on things like Blade Guard veterans and probably Vanguard veterans now to do the actual pure combat. So now I can take intercessor-like units that are cheaper, and the bolter for 2 turns is still going to be AP -1 at 30-inch range. It's still good. So I don't see why you take Primaris now. Not infantry. I don't see why you take Primaris infantry. You've got things like aggressors. Yeah, they're pretty good. Although I heard on the grapevine, guys, that aggressors are losing their double shoot ability. So bear that in mind. Okay, bear that in mind. Don't forget, basic tactical marines can get access to multi-melters. Multi-melters are going up to 2 shots. So guess what? Yeah, those eradicators, they're very, very good. But we all know they're going to catch a nerf bat sooner or later. We all know they're going to go open points. If they don't, it's criminal. And guess what? You can take, those salamanders could be rocking around with eradicators and tacticals with a multi-melter in the squad. Why wouldn't you do it? I guess it's a bit of a reach. I still go plasma. But if I was turning up to a tournament now, I would take I'd take my exact same marine list that you see people take, but just swap out those intercessors for tacticals. Just do it. And you'll be able to take the same thing with a couple of plasmas, and those tacticals are so much more versatile. You've got strength 8 rapid fire guns. I can't overstate it. So don't want to waffle on. Don't want to repeat myself. I think closing statement on this part of the video, I would say Firstborn are back on the menu, boys. Seriously back on the menu. It's going to be very interesting to see how my Black Templars play out. Now, let's take a look at this from the perspective of the general 9th edition. Okay, we'll do the guard bit at the end. We'll treat ourselves a bit dessert, some sweet guard salt about the subject. But what does this mean for general 9th meta? Well, basically, guys, if you think about it, it's just another obvious push from Games Workshop for people to go towards elite infantry. Okay, they have made it abundantly clear that 9th edition is all about elite, durable infantry, and they want people, they want people to get used to that. What's the starter army? Marines. What do they want people to collect? Marines. So what they want people to get a feel, what faction do people often get a feel for what 40k is about? Space Marines. So if you make the Space Marine faction the sort of flagship for durable elite infantry, then that is going to set the tone for a lot of 9th edition. And that's what we're seeing, guys. You want to be, if you want to be able to run durable elite infantry in 9th. That's the key. That's all that matters in 9th edition. Durable elite infantry-based armies. They're going to. We've already seen them smash face. This is just another push in that direction, and so it's kind of funny because everyone's going to be expecting durable elite infantry, so everyone's going to bring the tools to kill durable elite infantry. So it's going to be kind of interesting if some anti-meta options jump out here. What happens if everyone's turning up with few but powerful shots like las cannons, melters, plasmas, autocannons. If people are turning up with that kind of stuff, which pays a premium for doing multiple damage but has less shots, what happens when someone turns up with a horde? I saw a really top list being used. It's being used by Manny Chima, who is he's a very good tournament player. He goes to LVO, he kicks ass all the time. He's got his own channel, Last Hammer Game, and go and check it out. And he runs lots of tournaments himself. He's very much got his feet in the tournament bath. And a list that he did very well with recently, I don't know it completely off the top of my head, but the gist of it was he had 3 squads of Eradicators, of course. And then he had like 3 squads of Blade Guard veterans. And a lot of these units were just elite killing units. They were really good at just being durable as hell and really good at killing durable units. And the only like dedicated anti-infantry he had was Leviathan Dreadnought with 2 storm cannon arrays, which puts out 20 like sort of powerful shots, like strength 20. So I think it's strength 6, AP -1, AP -2, damage 2 shots. So it's got a high volume of fire, but everything else in his army did not have a high volume of fire. And he smashed face because he came across everyone was running. Oh, we don't want to have more than 5 men in the squad because of the blast special rule, but no one took any blast weapons. There were very few blast weapons. You do see a lot of like whirlwinds, Forge World whirlwinds and stuff like that, but there's not as many blast weapons as you would expect because everyone is like, I don't want to take blast. I don't want to get crushed by blast. So people are sort of going, oh well, I'm paying more for blast, but it's not going to do anything when I turn up, so I'm not going to pay for it. So it's really interesting. A lot of people are avoiding blast, and that means people aren't bringing blasts. So I was thinking, like, if someone turned up with just an absolute horde of guys against that list, it's going to be interesting what it does, because 9 Eradicators can pop up and melt 9 guys if they want to, or 18 guys if they double shoot. But it's not a big deal if they turn up and slag a squad and a half of guardsmen. I'm not really that bothered. It's a good trade-off for me. And yeah, they are durable. They are durable, and those Blade Guard veterans are super durable. But, plenty of plasma brings them down. Plenty of plasma. Plasma and a heavy bolt is going to 2 damage. So it's really interesting how I see sort of 9th playing out, and seeing it from an observer's point of view at this point on the tournament circuit, because I'm just, not attending any events just yet, letting things settle down. When codexes start pumping out in October, maybe it's only a month away, I'll start going to a few events then. But it's really interesting. So we're all being pushed towards elite infantry, but what happens when someone just turns up with a horde? It's You know, that's sort of the question that I am saying to myself now. What happens when I turn up to an event and 90% of players are turning up with the same Marine cookie cutter list, which is rocking loads of plasma and loads of anti-Marine stuff, and I just turn up with 200, 250 guardsmen, and I just walk across the board and they haven't got enough shots, even if every shot hit and wounded for a turn, for 5 turns, they can't even kill me. What happens? You know, it's interesting. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. Now, in terms of seeing this from a guard perspective, obviously it kind of sucks. Okay? It kind of sucks because, like, oh, yay, another buff for Marines. Oh god, they were struggling so hard. It's like, you know, change the fucking record, Games Workshop. Marines are doing really well just because someone turned up to a tournament with a Custodies list or Death Guard list and Marines didn't get gold, silver and bronze. Just because Marines haven't won every single game at a tournament doesn't mean they need another buff. No, you're getting to the point now where Terminators are having as many wounds as Custodies, but are cheaper. You know, what the hell is going on? You know, Custodies' big thing was like, they have 3 wounds. And now it's like, so what? You know, so what if they have 3 wounds? You know, it used to be where when Firstborn 1 wound, Primaris 2 wounds, but then Custodies, because they're the superior creation, have 3 wounds. It's like, well, now they're not that superior, are they? Because a Terminator has as many wounds as you. You're not that superior. You know, a lot of people are saying, oh, do you think like the Custodies Terminators are going to get an extra wound? It's like, no, they're not Marines. They don't get the extra wound. I mean, they might do, but in theory they won't. In theory, it's just Marines going to get an extra wound, and Custodies aren't Marines, so they won't get it. It's mad. Custodies are doing really, really well, so I'm not actually, you know, I'm not salty. I'm not really bothered that, you know, Custodies players are going to be pissed off about it, because you're already doing fantastically, guys. But from a guard perspective, I'm just sat here like, my lasguns just got even less good. They just got poo. You know, it's going to take monumental levels of lasgun fire to just do anything now. And I mean, that's fine, but lasguns already felt like a waste of time. Like, I have fired literally hundreds of thousands of lasgun shots over my career as a 40k player. It's no exaggeration. I've been running pure infantry for like 3 to 4 editions now. You know, and in many of those editions, since first rank fire, second rank fire was a thing, I have done it. I have rolled, especially in 5th edition and 6th edition and 7th edition, I have rolled 100 shots from one. You know, I've rolled 400 shots a turn every turn, pretty much. And it doesn't often do anything. It just feels good rolling that much dice, but it's not actually effective. So now it's like, ugh, small arms, just normal weapons, just mean nothing in this edition. They just mean so little. They just mean so very, very little, and it's just mad. And so everyone, everywhere is going to turn up to every game with just as many special and heavy weapons as they can just cram into their list. You know, every guard player, you know, you can know. I don't know if you can just justify going into battle with bare bones infantry squads anymore. I just don't know if that's good enough, because their lasguns can't even do what they're designed to do, which is just volume of fire to clear out units. They can't even do that. Guardsman squads are just getting to the point, especially if you're running them bare bones, no heavy weapons, no special weapons. They're just getting to the point where they are just tokens on a battlefield that just happen to stop some deep strike and happen to claim some objectives, but they don't do anything else. You may well as not roll the lasguns. You're wasting time. If you're in a tournament situation with a chess clock, you may as well not roll your lasguns, because they are not going to really achieve much. If everyone's just taking so much durability, it's bonkers. I mean, I love lasguns. I do, and I know I'm focusing on the lasgun a lot, but the lasgun is a perfect sort of just metaphor for the guard. It's a perfect just image of the guard. We rely on lots and lots of individually shitty things that when they come together do well. But there gets to a point when the amount of shitty things that you have to throw at something is disproportionately high to achieve any result. And that's where I think we're getting to now. Like, when I used those Deathcore, in my last battle report, Deathcore Krieg versus Primaris, okay? And it was like a mind-opening moment. I see through the lives of the Jedi, you know? I see the truth now before me. It's like, when I had lasguns that had some punch, had some AP-2, my God. It was like playing on easy mode, guys. If it hit and it wounded, it did something. It hurt. It stuck. And because Grenadiers, I could bring them in the volume that was required, I felt what my lasguns felt like what they should be. Which is if they can hit, and they can, you know, they can struggle to hit, and they can struggle to wound, but when they get through, they do something. That's good. And it felt good, and that's why I've fallen head over heels in love with the Krieg. And I know it's a honeymoon period, and I know Games Workshop's going to come in and kick my face in with a big kick of reality, and they're probably going to nerf Grenadiers. They shouldn't. They really shouldn't, because it's okay to have a slightly strong unit. It's not breaking any tournaments, it's not breaking any mess, it's not an overpowered unit, it's just a good unit. It's okay to have good units, and Krieg Grenadiers, they're not overpowered, they're just good. And that's okay, and they should stay like that. You know, they should stay where they are. Especially for the 9th method, they're not that durable. But this is the problem with everyone getting so durable all the time. And everyone getting extra durable is that it means those weapons that are just standard, you know, the basic bolter, the standard lasgun, you know, they don't do anything. You know, people are saying, you know, shuriken catapults are just useless. They're just useless. Autoguns are just not good. You know, sluggers, shooters. Now, you know, if you're an orc player who's been, you know, playing things kind of sneaky and are just blasting the crap out of people with loads of shooters because orcs are kind of a sneaky, really good shooting army. You've just gone to shit. And this is the problem. They're just increasing. You increase the lethality of every weapon. You just do broad spectrum lethality increase. But for certain factions, and people go, oh, that's great because they're going to increase the durability of factions. Like, yeah, of some factions. But you're not going to tell me they're going to start giving Guardsmen 2 wounds and a 4+ save as standard, and Grenadiers are going to start rocking around with 3 wounds and a carapace. They're not going to do that, are they? So all that happens is the armies which get the durability to match lethality are okay. It balances out. But the armies that don't get the durability to match the lethality get screwed into the ground because they don't have the durability. But everyone's weapons have got more powerful. But their weapons haven't got more powerful because it's kind of a joke. Lasguns are meant to be shocking. You need millions of them to do anything. But when you take that joke too far, I mean, what could they do to lasguns? It would feel weird. It would feel wrong if lasguns became AP-1 as standard. They're not going to do that. It would feel weird if lasguns became strength 4 as standard. That'd be weird. You know? But so as a result, you have to either change the way a weapon feels, which will fundamentally change the way a faction plays, or that faction just gets screwed. Or you just load that faction with more shots. Lasguns become rapid fire 2 standard, rapid fire 4 with first rank fire, second rank fire. So you've got to roll more dice, which is great, feels great, but it just takes a lot more time. And in a tournament with a chess clock, if you're the guard player and you have to spend more time rolling your shitty shots just because they've increased durability across the board, you're at a disadvantage because you're spending more time doing what you had to do before to get the same result. It sucks. So that's it. That's the salt side of the video. I know some of you were really looking forward to me getting salty over this, and I've just seasoned it. I haven't gone too far. So what does it mean for guard players? How can we combat this scourge? Well, basically, guys, what you have to do is just load up with as much damage to your weapons as you can get your hands on. Okay, you want plasma. Oh, plasma's 5 points, guys. 5 points in every squad. Just give every squad a plasma gun. Don't even think about it. Don't even think. Oh, is it point? Just do it. You need your las guns aren't cutting it now. You need damage to your weaponry. You need it. If you don't, you're playing you're playing with one arm tied behind your back. Now you probably want to consider heavy bolters because apparently they're going up to, well, they are going up to 2 damage. But I heard a rumor. So hold off before you all go out and buy hundreds of heavy bolters. Heard a rumour they're going down to 1 shot, but damage 2. Which is how the sort of old heavy bolters used to play, because they used to be like this. They used to fire like a bolter, but it's just a big bolt, so it's like 1 shot. It's like basically like a little rocket propelled grenade launcher. So bear that in mind. If that's the case, autocannons could look tasty. You know, I wouldn't be sure which one to build yet, heavy bolters or autocannons, but I think they're both going to be really good. I think this is the addition of go big or go home. You want plasma. Las cannons, they're only 15 points. That's only 5 points on an infantry squad. So only 5 points more than heavy bolter. You know what? Take it. Take it. It's 5 points more, and it's going to be good. No matter what you point that las cannon at, it's gonna. If it hits, it's going to hurt. And there's less. It's not about hordes anymore. So it's all about if it hits, it gets through, it's going to kill something. You need that. So las cannons and plasma in every squad. That's what I'd recommend. Everyone that can take it. Veterans, triple plasma gun. No reason not to. Unless you're worried, oh, they're going to die before they get there. Then consider triple grenade launcher. It's not ideal, because grenade launchers only show the 6, but they're damage D3. Now that, in theory, if one gets through, it can one-shot an Eradicator. Unlikely, but it could do it. If it gets through, it's got a 33% chance of killing an Eradicator. It's not bad. Plasma gun can't do that, because it's only ever going to be damage 2. So grenade launchers could be kind of interesting. But the point is it's flat damage all the way. Every lead rush you're taking, plasma. Plasma for days. Everywhere that you can put a plasma, take one. It's no exaggeration. You just need we need the damage output. Multiple damage weapons are key. You just need that feeling of when you come up against Primaris, you know that every shot that you get through is going to slaughter Primaris, and we need that. That's how I'd approach the meta, guys. I think that's going to be strong advice for all of 9th. Maybe we'll come back in 6 months and laugh at this video, but I think that's going to be strong advice for 9th. We are being constantly pushed by Games Workshop to take fewer elite models, so you got to bring the guns to kill fewer elite models. You can't rely on las guns to drown those intercession shots. You can't rely on las guns to drown those tactical marines. It's not going to work anymore, guys. If you try and shift plague marines with las guns, you're just not going to do it. It's not going to happen. They're all getting 2 wins to 5, feel no pain, and then cover them on 2+ save. It's just mad. It's mad. So there you go, guys. I hope this has been a helpful video. I hope it has answered a lot of questions, and if you think I've missed anything, please put it down in the comment section. I'm really on a roll with answering comments. I'm trying to answer every single one that comes in, so please put it down in the comment section. Anything that I've missed, anything that you think of, any great points, just put them down there. And of course, I'll see you guys next time.